It began with a chill that crept down Emma Carter's spine the moment she stepped through the gates of Hollowridge High. The autumn wind howled through the empty hallways, as if whispering old secrets. Everything seemed normal at first, students rushing, lockers slamming. But beneath the routine buzz lurked something sinister. A flicker in the hallway mirror caught her eye, a reflection that wasn't hers. Later that night, she received a text from an unknown number that read, "Welcome back." The message came from a phone belonging to a student who had died 10 years ago. Uneasy, Emma brushed it off as a prank. But the next day, she found her locker scratched with the words, "You shouldn't have come back." As night fell, she stayed late to finish a project and heard slow footsteps echoing through the halls. When she turned, no one was there. A faint whisper brushed her ear, "We've been waiting." The lights flickered violently, and for a split second, she saw a shadow move behind her in the reflection of the glass. Terrified, Emma ran home, unaware that something had already followed her from Hollowridge High, something that didn't belong to the living. Curiosity became obsession. Emma couldn't shake the mystery of room 13, a door permanently locked, covered in faded caution tape. Her friends Jake, Mia, and Tyler dared her to break in one stormy night. The key they found in the janitor's office fit perfectly, as though it had been waiting. Inside, dust coated every surface, and the smell of burnt paper lingered. They found photos pinned to the walls, students from decades ago, all labeled missing. One old yearbook sat on a broken desk, its pages yellowed and brittle. Every student's face had been scratched out except for one girl's, Lydia Moore. As Emma ran her fingers across Lydia's photo, blood seeped from the scratch marks and dripped down the page. The temperature dropped suddenly, and their breath misted in the air. The door slammed shut behind them, locking itself. A voice whispered from the corner, "You found us." The lights burst, plunging them into darkness. Jake's flashlight flickered, illuminating ghostly outlines of people standing in the room's corners, motionless, watching. When the door finally swung open again, the photos on the wall had changed. Emma's face was now among the missing. The next morning, the school buzzed with rumors about the curse of room 13. Principal Dalton summoned Emma and her friends, warning them never to enter that room again. His voice trembled, his eyes darting to the hallway windows as if he feared being overheard. Later that evening, Mia followed him to the basement and recorded him muttering strange Latin words over a circle of candles, surrounded by old-school records. He whispered a single name again and again, Hollowridge. Meanwhile, Tyler began behaving strangely, pale, distracted, his eyes unfocused. He started drawing burning children and empty hallways during class. That night, he vanished. The police found his phone in the woods, its flashlight still on, the recording app running. On the playback, Emma heard heavy breathing and a faint child's voice whispering, "Bring me back." When she turned off the recording, the same voice echoed through her bedroom speakers. A cold wind swept through, flipping her notebook open to a single phrase written in someone else's hand. "He belongs to us now." Sleep eluded Emma as visions haunted her dreams. Every mirror reflected not her face, but the face of a pale girl with hollow eyes, Lydia Moore. Desperate for answers, she researched the school's past and discovered that Lydia died in a mysterious fire in 1989, the same year several students disappeared. One afternoon, Lydia's reflection began to move independently, writing words in the condensation of Emma's bathroom mirror, "Help us." When Emma blinked, the words vanished. She found herself drawn to Lydia's old locker, sealed for decades. Inside, she found burned notebooks and a charred pendant shaped like a flame. The moment she touched it, visions overwhelmed her, children screaming, fire engulfing the orphanage that once stood beneath the school. Lydia appeared in the vision, her skin cracked with ash, whispering, "They trapped us below." When Emma snapped back to reality, she was alone in the locker room, but the mirror beside her smiled, even though she did not. The reflection's lips moved, forming words she didn't speak. "It's your turn." The storm hit Hollowridge hard that night, thunder rattling the windows as Emma and Jake ventured into the gym basement. Beneath the old wooden floorboards, they discovered a hidden trapdoor leading to dark, crumbling tunnels, the remnants of the orphanage that burned decades ago. The air was thick with the scent of smoke and decay. They found half-melted toys scattered among blackened crosses and broken beds. On a shelf lay a diary, its cover scorched but the title clear, The Children of Ash. Every page was written in a shaky hand, repeating the same line, "We never left." As they read, faint giggles echoed through the tunnels, followed by the pitter-patter of unseen footsteps. Shadows darted along the walls. The tunnel began to shake, dust falling from the ceiling. Emma screamed as part of the passage collapsed, sealing their exit. Jake's flashlight flickered, revealing small handprints smeared in soot on the walls around them. Then came the laughter again, closer this time, overlapping, like dozens of voices whispering in unison, "Stay with us." They escaped the tunnels, but something came with them. The haunting spread across Hollowridge High. Lockers slammed by themselves, classroom windows shattered without reason, and the fire alarms shrieked though there was no smoke. Principal Dalton resigned abruptly, muttering that "they've found me again." Emma searched the school archives and discovered her mother's name on an old student list from 1989, the same year as Lydia's death. Shocked, she confronted her mother, who refused to speak, only saying, "Don't go back there." That night, Emma's dreams were filled with the same burning orphanage, her mother among the children chanting words of protection. When she awoke, she found ashes on her bedsheets and the faint sound of children humming in the walls. The next day, she found a photograph slipped into her locker, her mother as a teenager, standing next to Lydia Moore. Behind them, written faintly on the wall, "Class of the Damned." Answers turned to horror as Emma uncovered the truth. Her mother and a group of students once performed a sealing ritual to contain the spirits of the burned children beneath the school. But it failed, trapping the souls in agony. Now the spirits wanted revenge on their descendants. Jake vanished next, his phone discovered in the locker hallway. On the footage, his terrified voice pleaded for help as ghostly hands reached through the mirror to drag him inside. The reflection rippled like water, then went still. Emma could barely breathe. She begged her mother to explain, but her mother wept, whispering, "You were never supposed to come back to Hollowridge." That night, Emma heard her friends calling her name through the mirrors of her room. When she turned away, the reflection kept watching her. And then, in the glass, she saw all of them. Jake, Mia, Tyler, standing silently behind her, their eyes black, their mouths moving in unison. "Join us." The final day came with fire. The spirits of Hollowridge rose in fury, their whispers turning into screams as flames erupted through the hallways. Emma found her mother's old ritual book among the ashes, realizing only one act could end the curse: a blood sacrifice made willingly. As the roof caved and ghostly figures surrounded her, Emma stood in the burning gym and whispered the final words of the ancient rite. A blinding light burst through the flames, and for the first time, the children's screams turned into laughter, free at last. By morning, Hollowridge High was reduced to ruins. But when reconstruction began months later, workers found an old yearbook in the rubble. On the class of 1989 page was a new photo, Emma Carter's smiling face, aged to match the others. As the camera panned over the newly rebuilt sign outside, faint letters appeared beneath the paint, carved into the wood by unseen hands. "We never left."